Welcome to our next video. In our previous video, we looked at how to search for a specific record in our database. So we implemented the solution here. And we put in an ID, we're able to locate an item. All right, I also went ahead and made a link to this window from our menu. So we are able to access this from here. So if you look up department, you would have seen that. All right, so that is made possible based on the code that we would have implemented here. So we would have done that before for the view and the add department. So I just include another function. This one is to find depth. It's called find depth. And we get the inner HTML, get the work area, and we change the inner HTML of that to the file name that is to find department.php. So, all right, so it's the same idea, same concept. In this video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating a functionality that would allow us to update the records that are in our database. So we're going to look at how we may achieve the update. All right, so whenever the update department is clicked, what we want to happen is that we want it to prompt us so that we can specify which department we wish to update, and then it should allow us to change the name and the location and update. All right, so if we look at this, the find department feature, realize that it will take on a similar shape to the update. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna build the update from the find department. So I'm just gonna make a copy of that section of the code. All right, so we're gonna start from here. All right, so we're gonna just make a copy of this. All right. And this code, I'm gonna just call this update department. All right, so starting from up here, I'm gonna change it from find to update. So most of it will be the same. All right, so all of these will remain. All right, so the search result can stay. I'm gonna change this to update department. All right, so the next thing that we want also, we need a button that when clicked, it will carry out the update function. So I'm gonna insert another button here. So we have one button to carry out the search. So if you want to search to see if the item exists, and the other button is gonna be called update. The type is gonna be submit, just like this. And the name is gonna be changed, or the name is gonna be called update. All right, so we can check to see which of the buttons is actually clicked. All right, so let's see what we have so far. So I should refresh. All right, so let's go here. Localhost hotel slash update department .php. Update. All right, so let's just make sure that we have the correct file. It's called update department. Let's make sure it's saved properly. It's actually saved as a HTML file. Should be saved as a PHP file. All right, so that was the mistake. All right, so we have it so far. So update department. All right, so what we're gonna do now, the search should work just like we would have done before. All right, so what we're gonna do now is update. So if I should change the name here and click update, it should work. All right, so let me just get back to the code. Also, the submission, the action that this form will be associated with will no longer be find department, but update department. All right. Now, whenever update is clicked, all right, it will submit to the update department.php. So we're going to come down here to check to see which of the button is clicked. All right, so we start by including our connect.php. So we're going to check to see if the submit button is clicked or if the update button is clicked. So we have two buttons now that we're going to be handling. So when submit is clicked, that means we're doing the lookup, that is a general search. So we're going to carry out the action that is here. So I'm going to just put in an if statement to say if is set $underscore post. So this means that if the submit button is clicked, that's a button for the search, then this action should be carried out. So all of this will be carried out. So we'll carry out, we will do the query, execute the query, and print out the table. All right, so all of that should be done if the submit button is clicked. All right. The next thing that we need to check for is whenever the update button is clicked. So if the update button is clicked, so all we're gonna say is if is set $_post. So the button that is clicked is update. Then all we're gonna do is generate a query to carry out the update and execute it. All right. So let's look back at the button. So we have two buttons. One has the name submit, one has the name update. So we are saying that whenever the submit is clicked, we want it to do the search and just display all the information that meets the select star from department based on the ID, where the department ID is equal to the department ID that is entered in the form. Now down here, for the update, what we want to do is to generate a query. And this query, of course, will be an update query. So the query is going to be equal to update department. And all we're going to do here is just to set the department name, dep name, and these fields can be found in the database. And also, if you look up here, and what we would have taken from the database, you realize the spelling of them. All right. So we're going to set the dep name to the name that is entered in the form. So the name that is entered in the form can be accessed based on the so for the department name. All right, so we're using, you notice each of these fields is associated with, each of these input fields is associated with a name. So for the department name, it's associated with department name. That is what we're going to use to select this value from the post. All right, from the post array. All right, so I'm going to say set department name equal to $_post department name. All right, because that's the name that is in the form field up there. All right, and the next thing we're going to set is the location, and location is a field in the database table. And that's going to be equal to $_post, and the selection is going to be based on the name that we use here for the location. So look at the name that we have over here. It's a name is equal to department location, and that will allow us to get access to the value that is specified for that field. All right. I remember to surround each with a single quotation. All right. So once that is done, then we just need to complete the query by saying where the department ID is equal to the ID that is entered in the form above. Again, the ID is going to be associated. Here's the ID field. That is for the department ID. Just look at the name. The name for it is called department ID. So we're going to use that to access the name from the form. All right, so the name where the department ID is equal to $_post. And inside here, we're going to put department ID. All right, and close a single quote, double quote, semicolon. All right, so that is the query. The next thing that we need to look at is how to execute this query. All right. Now the execution of this query is going to be similar to what we would have done when we were doing the save operation. So we're going to be using the MySQLi _query. And inside there, we're going to just pass the connection. Remember, the connection variable can be found in the connect that we would have included here. That's this file, the connect.php. So you're saying connection, comma, followed by the query name, that's query. All right. And this will execute the query for us. So that's pretty much it to achieve the update. All right, so we have done the query here to get the update. We execute the query here. And all we need to do now is just to go and test to see if it actually worked. All right, so let's see. So let's go to update. All right, refresh. So let's say I want to find one. So look up. All right, it's actually located. Let's change the name to information technology. Click update. All right, so let's search back for one and see if the name has been changed. And the name has been successfully changed. So therefore mean that our update is working. And if we should change the location to say block D and choose update. All right, if we search again for one, notice that it has been changed. All right, so our update is successful. All right, so we can go back to our home and we can always make the link between the update here and this. All right, so thanks for viewing. So let's just make that adjustment to the home page so that when you click on update, it will just link to this. All right. So we're gonna just jump back in the code and carry out that update real quick. All right, so we're gonna make a function. That's the function update dep. It's gonna come up here. It's gonna make a copy of this. So we call update dep. And all we're gonna do is just get the element by ID. That's a work area. I'm gonna change it in a HTML to set the data here to update department. Right. Update department. So with that done, this should be fine. All right, so the name is correct. I just need to save this and and go back here. Go back to the home page, refresh, and click update department. There it is, working like a charm. So thank you for viewing and have a good one. And see you in the next video.